Welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to turn you into a personal productivity detective. We will explore how to use Claude to analyze your calendar, track your energy, find hidden time wasters, and completely optimize your weekly schedule. Let's get started. Let's start by defining what it means to be a personal productivity detective. Over a month, you generate a massive amount of data, calendar events, completed tasks, and meeting hours. The what is utilizing Claude to analyze this footprint. Why do this? Because humans naturally struggle with objective self-analysis. We think we spend our time effectively, but the data often tells a different story. Claude's superpower is pattern recognition. By exporting your calendar and task lists and feeding them into Claude, you bridge the gap between raw data and actionable insights. In our deep dive, we see that Claude acts as your unbiased chief of staff, identifying exactly where your schedule aligns with your goals, and more importantly, where it derails. Take a look at this flowchart, which maps the core methodology of our productivity detective framework. We begin at the top with your raw calendar and task data. This raw, unstructured noise flows directly into Claude's pattern recognition engine. From there, the data is transformed into insight and analysis, the lightbulb moment where hidden patterns are revealed. Finally, this splits into actionable outcomes, strategic decisions about what to prioritize, and schedule optimization for your upcoming week. Before Claude can analyze your schedule, we need to gather the evidence. The basics of data collection involve exporting your calendar and task lists, usually a simple CSV export from Outlook or Google Calendar covering the last 2 weeks. But here is the critical why and how. Privacy is paramount. You must sanitize your data. Never upload sensitive personal information, proprietary company data, or private client names. Replace strategy meeting with Apple with strategy meeting with client A. Once your data is anonymized, you upload it. For the deep dive, remember that raw data isn't enough. You must provide Claude with context. Tell Claude what your primary goals were for those 2 weeks. This allows the AI to measure your actual time spent against your intended priorities. This sequence diagram illustrates the secure data handoff. You, the user, export your calendar as a CSV. Crucially, this passes through a sanitization phase where you manually strip out sensitive data and names. Only the anonymized data, paired with your professional goals, is passed to Claude. Claude then processes this clean dataset and returns an initial time audit, ensuring your privacy is strictly maintained throughout the workflow. Now we move to one of the most powerful concepts, the energy mapping technique. Time management is a myth. What you actually need to manage is your energy. The basics involve tracking your energy levels on a scale of 1 to 10 every hour for a few days, alongside the tasks you are performing. Why? Because forcing yourself to do complex analytical work during a 2 p.m. energy slump is highly inefficient. How do we fix this? You provide your energy log to Claude. Prompt Claude to analyze the log to find your peak performance times. In our deep dive, we find that Claude is exceptional at spotting hidden correlations. Perhaps it reveals that back-to-back morning meetings destroy your afternoon coding velocity. Armed with this, you can align your hardest tasks with your highest cognitive peaks. Look at the scheduling decision tree based on energy mapping. When you have a task to schedule, your first filter is your energy state. If Claude's analysis shows it's your peak energy time, you route that block to deep work and complex strategy. If not, you drop down, is it moderate energy? If yes, schedule your collaborative meetings. If you are in a low energy trough, that is exactly when you tackle low friction admin tasks and email. Let's put on our detective hats and hunt for anomalies, identifying time wasters. We all have recurring meetings that have outlived their usefulness. The what is using Claude to audit your schedule for these low ROI activities. You start by having Claude categorize your calendar into buckets, deep work, admin, and meetings. Why is this critical? Because 30 minutes a day wasted on a useless sync equals over 100 hours a year. How do you execute this? You prompt Claude, review this data, and highlight any meetings taking disproportionate time compared to my goals. In our deep dive, we see Claude acting as a ruthless, objective auditor. It gives you the exact percentages of time wasted, providing you with the mathematical justification you need to decline those meetings or reduce them to an email. This pie chart visualizes a typical, unoptimized week before Claude's intervention. Notice the massive red flag. 35% of the week is consumed by low ROI syncs and status updates, while actual deep work execution is squeezed into a mere 20%. By visualizing this imbalance, Claude helps you immediately identify where you need to cut the fat to reclaim your week. To maintain high performance, we implement the weekly review framework. This is a systematic, AI-assisted audit performed every Friday afternoon. The basics involve giving Claude a brain dump, your completed tasks, where you struggled, and your general mood. Why do this? Because if you don't close the loop, you will repeat the same scheduling mistakes next week. Look at the sample code prompt on the slide. You ask Claude to analyze your week and explicitly format the output into accomplishments, challenges, patterns, and next week's priorities. In our deep dive, we find that Claude is excellent at stripping away your emotional fatigue at the end of a long week. It looks at the facts, highlights your actual wins, identifies the root cause of your challenges, and drafts a clean, optimized roadmap for Monday morning. This mind map displays the architecture of the weekly review prompt. At the core is the review itself, which branches into 3 temporal states. We look at the past to extract accomplishments and challenges. We analyze the present patterns to spot energy spikes and time drains. Finally, all of this data feeds into the future node, generating your top 3 priorities and necessary schedule adjustments for the week ahead. Zooming in from the weekly view, we have the morning briefing routine. Imagine having a chief of staff who hands you a tactical execution plan the moment you sit at your desk. The what is using Claude to process today's chaos. The basics, you paste in today's calendar and your messy to-do list. Why? Because morning decision fatigue kills your momentum. You want to execute, not agonize over what to do first. Check the sample code. You prompt Claude to generate a morning briefing comprising your top 3 priorities, 3 15-minute quick wins, and any danger zones. In our deep dive, we see how Claude cross-references your tasks against your meeting gaps. If you have a 15-minute gap between calls, Claude slots a quick win there. It spots conflicts and gives you a perfectly optimized daily attack plan in seconds. This flowchart shows the ingestion and output of the morning briefing. Your raw to-do list and calendar enter the Claude morning briefing engine. The engine processes this and outputs 3 highly focused directives, your top 3 priorities for deep work, quick wins mapped to your calendar gaps, and danger zones warning you of back-to-back meeting fatigue. These 3 outputs converge, resulting in perfectly optimized daily execution. Let's look at a real-time, highly practical use case, the overwhelmed manager. The scenario: a manager is working 50-hour weeks, drowning in 30 hours of scattered meetings, and complaining of 0 time for actual work. Implementation: the manager exports 2 weeks of calendar data and their personal energy map, prompting Claude to act as a ruthless productivity auditor. Execution: Claude's pattern recognition detects a fatal flaw. Status update: meetings are scattered randomly across all 5 days, completely fragmenting the manager's focus and preventing deep work states. The outcome: Claude proposes a restructuring. It moves all status meetings to Tuesday and Thursday afternoons, which align perfectly with the manager's low-energy periods. The incredible value here: the manager suddenly reclaims 2 completely meeting-free mornings, gaining 10 hours of uninterrupted strategic execution time without dropping a single responsibility. This journey map perfectly visualizes the transformation. We start in the baseline chaos section, marked by low user satisfaction due to scattered meetings and constant interruptions. We move into Claude's audit, where AI pattern detection and consolidation strategy elevate the process. Finally, we arrive at the optimized reality. User satisfaction peaks as they experience blocked deep work and the holy grail of productivity: 0 meeting days. As we wrap up, we must focus on building a sustainable workflow. The what is turning these one-off audits into a continuous habit. The basics dictate that you shouldn't change your entire life overnight. Implement Claude's suggestions incrementally. Why? Because your life isn't static. Your projects and energy levels will evolve, so your schedule must adapt. How do you sustain this? By keeping the human in the loop. Use Claude for the 80% heavy analytical lifting, but apply your 20% human judgment before declining a meeting. Productivity isn't about doing more things faster, it's about doing the right things better. Claude provides the ultimate map, but you're the one driving the car. To truly master these AI workflows and elevate your career, I invite you to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and visit quicktechie.com for premium certification prep, including massive Q&A banks, full ebooks, audiobooks, full-length training, and expert interview guides. See you there. Our final state diagram illustrates the infinite loop of continuous optimization. You execute your week, which feeds data into your weekly review. That data passes to Claude analysis using our frameworks. This generates new insights to optimize your schedule, which you then implement as you loop back to execute the next week. This is the engine of compounding personal productivity. Thank you for watching.